appreciations to MMA. You were pointing out really great job. They are unique. The quality of session, the programs and meticulous and group captains' involvement is want to be adapted, seen, and by others too. And of course, other distinguished MMA members, especially TSM, Venkatji, uh, CKR, the great model to be emulated across in the industry, Dr. Rajeshwari. First of all, the book in review, under review today, fundamentally, if you see, that's what we are doing, all of us together. I had gone through in my career some, I don't count, but it's at least 3,000 reviews. Incidentally, one of your colleagues, Mr. Vipin, is there. The moment he had your name, he wanted to come. He is with us now. He is in the position of a general manager. He has long time to go, heading one big initiative of the corporation. So definitely, when I had gone through most of the pages, really quite impactful. I also wanted to share a few things about EMRI. We are connected to EMRI, sir. You take fuel from our 2,500 petrol pumps across India. Seamlessly, you make one payment to Indian Oil, take fuel across through a loyalty program, extra loyalty. I used to head this initiative long before, 10 years before, and you are the leaving Vijayanand Road lines, VRL. You are the biggest of the customers for Indian Oil. The retail customer used to make about annually more than 1 crore payment to Indian Oil. So we recall that, and especially want to mention, see, this service implementing in many countries would be very easy. But in India, it is so difficult. Vastness, geographical challenge, the deep pockets that you need to reach. From my family too, when my mother was sick, they reside in a village near Karur. 108 only came to the rescue. Like that, I think lakhs of people would have benefited. It is as good as the initiatives like the challenge of vaccination that we undertook post-COVID, the challenge of reaching out to every citizen of this country. It is as good as that. Very complex initiative, so successfully done. Really, as a people of this country, we are thankful to Venkatji for that. EMRI. Coming to my own experience, this was in my last tenure as a Gujarat, same position as a executive director of Indian Oil, I was holding. There was a cyclone 2 years before. You must have had in news, Joy. This normally comes in this cyclone, which is presently going on, comes around the western coast. There are quite a few cyclones. This cyclone was named after Joy. We do a lot of review. I also undergo review. Ministry take review of me, Government of India. So I do also take quite a lot of reviews during that time of maybe about 10 days well ahead of the moment we hear, we start preparing. When cyclone was almost at its full fury, during a review, one of my divisional heads from Rajkot, I completed my points and opened them to talk about it. Then I asked them, some 35 heads were there. So when that discussion was open, he was telling aviation. Indian Coast Guard wanted fuel in a place called Oka, more popularly known somewhere near Dwaraka, which most of us know. Lord Krishna is there. So then there was a challenge. He has been requesting people who are there, like our aviation fuel stations we have in Jamnagar, like this across country, some close to 150 places we have where our civil airports are there, or even the defense location. Group captain knows about it, aviation fuel stations. We have in many of the Army, Air Force bases, naval bases too, like Arakonam. So people were not, they were worried, they could not take the next step of really reaching out to them, to the Indian Coast Guard, because the refueler had to travel one through the cyclone's fury, heavy rains, So poor visibility, some 250 kilometers there to take this refueler, to reach that spot, to refuel the helicopters. The purpose of why Indian Coast Guard was wanting was one rig, which is used to actually oil wells, they call it, in off the coast in Arabian Sea. There's a rig by name Singapore rig, operated by Vedanta, was in the middle of the storm, and there were 50 people stuck. They had to bring them back to coast. So they wanted Indian, others were not there in the scene. It was only for Indian Coast Guard to do that. So the moment I came to know, then I took up with the All India head of the aviation, and then the refueler moved. The entire night they moved, and it reached at around 3 a.m. and they started the rescue operations immediately. 7 sorties, 7 times they've gone. At a time, 7 people. Totally 49 people were rescued. This is the actual incident that happened. But the more interesting thing was, finally, we also need payment. We don't give free services. So we need documentation. In that document, commandant of that entire operations, he was an IG ranked officer by name Harbola. He wrote, Indian Oil's 980 liters saved 50 lives. He recorded that. I mean, it was much celebrated in the company. Our chairman flew to that place to recognize those guys. But the point that I wanted to make is that review, had it not been there, the entire thing would have been delayed. We never know whether all those 49 lives would have been saved. This is the benefit of review. I just wanted to mention that. Review is so important. And of course, I would like Venkatji to later share with us what should be the frequency of the review. Why I'm saying, there I have had some of the bosses whom I will report without naming him. He was a review fanatic. In a day, he would do 20 reviews. To the extent I did not get time to do my work. So I am always careful whether I am on. I mean, I do also. I have to do the review, as Sikherji also was mentioning. The job is to do that, actually. If you want really the execution success depends on that, we need to do. But it is a very careful call that has to be taken. How many, when, what to ask, these are very, very critical. So especially frequency, I do think whether I am over reviewing the people. Whether I am also doing, at times, when I think about this, Mr. Vipin may be knowing it, I sometimes slow down. I don't try to review whether I am denying their time. Always used to come in my mind. So maybe later I'd like to hear from him. That's it for the time being. I think we can go ahead. Thank you.
So good evening, everybody. Congratulations, Venkat, on this book. So I come from a world of academia where review is a very integral part of the publishing process. You go through years of review and your manuscript might still get rejected. So we understand the importance of reviews. But I've also spent 15 years of corporate life prior to entering academia. So my question to you, Venkat, is that in spite of understanding the importance of reviews and the benefits that it brings, why is it that many corporates still don't give it the adequate importance, right? They don't do it very seriously. They are taking it casually. There is a sense of inertia. When you say review meeting, it's not the thing that everybody looks forward to, certainly. There is always a, low energy on doing a review meeting for the participants. So that's my first question. Second question is, you worked in many sectors, government, corporate, NGO. So which of these, in your opinion, does the best reviews? And if you can, show a glimpse of that, that would be great. Thank you.
I'll answer in sequence what you mentioned. Review. I think in a span of, even if I extend also, some of those what were discussed, where I cannot take a decision in the review meeting, it requires in-depth meeting. They are all noted down and slotted rest of the month for a in-depth discussions of it can be an hour or 2 hour. I don't think we can resolve the issues, all of them that day. But some of them could be resolved, which require an hour or two discussion, but it requires collaboration with many others who are not in the meeting. It requires in-depth. Definitely, my review meeting at the end, I circle them at the end. These 5, at the end of the meeting, I tell them we are going to discuss, during the course of next week, we slot it. Number 2, on your question on review frequency, EMRI, when it started, when I joined 15th April 2005, Razu committed to Chief Minister 15th August we will launch. Both of them discussed. वो दोनों को क्या हो जाता है? I have to suffer. I have to implement the project in 4 months' time. Both of them agreed. Venkat will launch on 15th August. Same thing he did with Modi also. Modi, I met him on 27th August 2007. 27th June 2007. And even he asked me how long you take. I said 4 months it takes. Where? I said Andhra. We launched in Andhra. It took exactly 4 months. But this is not Andhra. This is Gujarat. So it has to be lesser time. I said, no, where did you do MBA? I said, Ahmedabad. Then Ahmedabad MBAs have to do half the time compared to other MBAs. You better do it in 2 months. I said, no, not possible. Then he said, which government is ruling in Andhra? Congress. I am BJP. If they took 4 months, I should do in 2 months. I didn't agree. Who is your boss? I said, Ramalinga Razu. He rang him up before me. And the way he talks to him first time only, अरे राजू तुम्हारा आदमी इधर है यार, क्या कर रहा है? आदमी बोलता है 4 महीना हमको 2 महीने में मांगता है. सर करेंगे. That's all. That man knows only that word करेंगे in Hindi. And both of them spoiled my happiness. I have to do exactly in 2 months. 29th August 2000. But there, reviews cannot be monthly. Because 2 months. First instance, every Wednesday, every Saturday review meeting, chairman reviewing every Wednesday from 9 to 1 o'clock, every Wednesday, every Saturday. But once I stabilized, after launch is over, 2 weeks, it became monthly. Now, as a CEO, I conduct in my any organization, monthly is a must. Never ever I skipped a review meeting in my life saying I'm not well or saying I'm traveling or something. It never. That is on the frequency. It's like you ask him a question, how often you smile with your wife. How do I answer that? It depends. I mean, it depends what you want from her, what is the objective, at what stage of marriage you are. It's like that. Now, she asked me now, this hesitation to review requires courage. Review requires guts. You have to face your people. Those who cannot face uncomfortable questions will not review because the fellows will ask resources. They will ask knowledge, they will ask collaboration, they will ask 101 things to clarify. And you don't have guts to do that. You will defer. That is the commitment for a reviewer. First of all, commit to review as the period agreed. Number 2 is being courageous to accept we cannot do it. How do we do it? That's why I said it's not a fault finding. Everybody is doing well, boss thinks no need of review. No, that is the time you have to review to make them grow much higher. Hesitation comes from the incompetence of the reviewer, not from the competence of the reviewees. So that's my first thing. And now different sectors, private sector to non-profit to this, absolutely there is no difference. Review is a review, leadership is leadership. On the contrary, better leadership is required in government and non-profit organizations than corporate sector. Because if there is no leadership in FMCG in one company A, I can buy that soap somewhere else. But in non-profit, if I don't send that ambulance, they can't go anywhere else. In IIB, if I can't give that, there is no other option. Jadiwan, I have to better serve Suri when he wants. He's insuring a vehicle, he comes to me at that time. And my system doesn't work at that time when he wants to insure a vehicle. What happens? I'm a non-profit organization. That doesn't mean he will give me any excuse. Execution is very important non-profit because you have come for a cause to serve somebody. That somebody requires whole lot of gamut of leadership, from visioning to strategizing to innovation to execution to all those things, much more are required. But unfortunately, in this country, we are spoilt. Non-profit organizations don't require any review. As long as you wear one Kolhapur chappals and you wear one jute bag here, and with big bindi and something, you go on, you become a non-profit automatically. Not at all. MMA required much more leadership. That's what in 2002-3, what we did governance document. That's why it is standing today. As a non-profit leadership required, process required, people required. We were mentioning at that time, you require a little bit better paid executive director starting with. Otherwise, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 people and they come on 1 year go. That's all. Reviews in a family. Head of the family reviews. You don't call them review meeting. But a good head of a family reviews with the family together. When there is a marriage happening, he reviews. What is happening? He or she reviews. We may not call them reviews. But one is guts are required. Second is the person has to realize, if I don't review, things will go wrong. I enjoyed quality of reviews in government, the way Chandrababu Naidu reviews now. Phenomenal. Once he starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, night 11 o'clock, very jovial, I used to tell people that he must be wearing a diaper. He doesn't even go out. 9 hours at the age of 74, 75, he's there. And fully, if you tell him 1,22,212, he says, no, not 212. It is 213. He's updated more on the system. And the best reviewer, complete agenda and goes fully involved. He abuses some of the IAS officials who are not involved there. And Modi, when he reviews, when I answer, no, tell me how I am doing better than Andhra or not. First he will ask. I said, you are doing better than Andhra. Okay, that I know. Tell me, am I doing better than America or not? He'll keep on changing the benchmark. Okay. Shall we answer that question or we answer? Yeah.
Okay, so just a couple more questions, Venkat.
We can, no, this question you have answered.
These one, okay. Which of the 10 qualities of an effective reviewer do you believe is most neglected in practice and why? Daniel is asking this question.
Which are the 10 qualities? Which is neglected, is it? Yeah. I think number one is only one of the 10. Of the 10, which is neglected mostly? That's what he is asking us. I think one is the leader reviewer not willing to learn. At 71 years, 9 months old, I still read every day 1 hour in my car while coming and going in the morning. You have to jolly well read. If I can't read, Surya, I formed a club called Insurance Fundamentals Group in IAB to let them think how the insurance law acts, how the products are launched, and what are the claim management processes, how it works. I thought learning is the only way. I can't say that because I am the only fellow. I think the one fundamental thing is people stop learning, particularly you join a government job. Today, even IT job, insurance job, you learn, no need to learn. You have to only produce quarterly results. This QSQT syndrome, Kayamat se Kayamat tak, is what is called quarter se quarter tak. So you have to sell and show the results, which doesn't require knowledge. But organization as a sustain, you have to learn, you have to make your people learn. According to me, most neglected out of the 10 is this. Yeah.
So next question is, how has your experience of being reviewed by 4 chief ministers shaped your own approach to conducting reviews as a leader? Suresh's question.
Yeah. Fantastic. I think Chandrababu Naidu, from that what I learned is when you are conducting 9 hours, 10 hours, give some break. Don't conduct 9 hours, that's one lesson. Second lesson is if he's saying 2,22,211, if it is not 12, don't find fault with him. It's okay, you are around that, you can say, not exactly you're wrong. It demotivates the team. And number 3 is from Modi, learn to appreciate others. When I made the whole speech in Gujarati, writing in English, when I asked him, sir, how do you like my speech in English? This is Gujarati, you have spoken in Gujarati, there's nothing great about it. I thought my people will not appreciate that. Even if they do small thing, I must learn to appreciate. As a chief minister, probably can afford to say that. But as a CEO, I cannot afford to say that. I have to appreciate small things done by my team. Akhilesh Yadav, he likes to only 10 minutes review, that too in a sofas. He likes to sit in the sofa and both of us will sit here. Chief Secretary, Principal Secretary home, all will sit there. Shangawali साहब कुछ दिक्कत है क्या? ये लोग कुछ समाधान नहीं कर रहा है क्या?
Yeah.
If they say something, he'll say, he is our salahkar. वो जो बोलेगा आप सुनना पड़ेगा. क्यों लाया उसको? आपका पास इतना नॉलेज होगा तो उसको क्यों लाया? What I learned from him is, you have appointed advisors, you have appointed consultants. Better respect them. Our corporate sector has not learned it. We pay the fees and we don't learn, we don't respect the consultant advisors. Not very few are there, unlike CKR. Yeah.
Next question is for CKR. In your journey transforming Kevin Care from a single product company to a diversified FMCG giant, how did structured reviews influence execution and innovation? Shalini's question.
Thank you, Shalini. My review is very important. As the thing Venkat has said, it's more a discovery and helping to identify the problems and finding a solution is very important. So I would say that we do monthly reviews, but my learning over a period of time is a weekly review, and that too by exception, review by exception. Do not do everything. Where the data is suggesting that there is a struggle or something is doing exceedingly well, learn from both and find a solution for where you struggle and learn how something is going extremely well. Is there a much more bigger opportunity available? Those are something I think we can do is what I would say. The other one, I would say every review, when there is a deficiency in numbers, target, or a particular parameter of the review, it cries when you say that you are not able to achieve, when there is a static results for the last 3 months, 2 months, or several weeks, if you are looking at, it cries for something in measures is missing. Some measures are missing. A smart leader, along with the team, will identify the right measures that will improve efficiency and achievement. So I would say, in a way, John Doerr has written a book called Measure What Matters. I think that's very important. Right measures, if leaders are able to identify along with the team, and if you put that in practice, you can see significantly the kind of results immediately started galloping up. And that's a very, very important thing. So this is one thing I think we have been extensively doing. If you look at some things, I would say our supply chain, we used to do about 100 orders came, we call it DIFOTIS, delivery in full, on time, in spec. This is a very important thing. Completely delivering all the SKUs, whatever is called on the time, in specification, no quality defect, nothing. So if you have to do it, that's very difficult when you have multiple SKUs coming across. When we started measuring, it was somewhere around 64%, 65, like that. We started pushing and pushing. Eventually, we could able to reach close to 97, 98%, which is over having about, say, something like 700, 800 SKUs week on week to execute on time not at the end of the week. Somebody asks on Monday, you have to supply it on Monday, like that. So from where we used to lose about 4 or 5 crores of sales per week of this thing, not delivering on time, eventually they come back to 27,000, like that kind of this thing, 18,000, 27,000, in thousands, not even lakh. I think that is possible only because we could able to identify series of measures and pass it on down the line, the team collectively. It's not me alone. So then that makes a huge difference in the kind of this thing. So that's what I would emphasize, the measure what matters. Review by exceptions are very important. Otherwise, every line item you review, then it will be a boring one. Appreciate where it is required. I think team need to get energized. That will go a long way. The other thing, second one is on innovation. I think I would say that innovation is we start measuring insights. Very important. What are the great ideas you have? I was okay, simply going there, I went to the market and came back. I met 50 customers. If you don't have an idea, you go again and again and meet, you come back empty handed. That means you're failing to think, failing to observe more. So start challenging the team members. Then eventually everybody started coming back with that ideas and start discussing with that. The team shapes up to come with more and more ideas is what I feel. And then we normally have a kind of thing, we have a software to track. We rate the ideas into 10 grams, 100 grams and 1000 grams. And that is a very important thing. Based on that, eventually we go behind 1000-gram ideas and hit the kind of thing. That's a very important thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is for Venkat. Yeah, I'll just come to that. So review is essential for building learning organization. You have listed 10 essential qualities for the best reviewer. How would you assign weightages to these 10 traits? This is from John.
Yeah. See, this is like is heart bigger, brain bigger, or kidney bigger, or lung? Which one is bigger? You can't say which one is bigger. One of them will spoil your happiness. I can't say which one. Suddenly your ENT may spoil, brain may spoil, heart may spoil, and your orthopedic system, muscular system might spoil. I think all that 10 I can't say at all though. And normally in every performance review, when you talk to an individual year after year, when the guy works for 20 years now, what he focuses is not on the 19 where he's good at. The one poor fellow, when he's not able to improve, you keep telling him, please improve on this, because that matters to you quite a lot. For me, difficult to say.
Okay. Next question is for Mr. Annadurai. In a vast and complex organization like the Indian Oil, how do you ensure that review mechanisms lead to execution excellence rather than getting lost in bureaucracy? Priya's question.
Yeah. Thank you, Pri. Just wanted to mention, first of all, even though it is very complex and vast, we have a very well-defined structure put in place. You see the function-wise, then the territory-wise. So there's a lot of clarity in the existence itself. And the reviews we take up, there are certain topics which will take up all. For example, I have some 40 units which are reporting, all would be together on safety when we discuss safety as a subject. But when we coming to specific sales performance, it would be very limited people, probably those responsible, divisional managers and those sales executives. So it takes first clarity in terms of whom you are attacking and what topic you are attacking. That mostly the complexities are resolved. Second thing is, I would also be with Venkatji as well as openness is very, very important. Of course, you jot down and restrict to what you have to ask. Be polite, but must encourage people speaking. Even the very event or incident that I was quoting, that came out to allow them to speak apart from what you want to communicate, you want to review. That really helps. That makes it much more simpler, the approach of review. Yeah, thank you.
So the next question here is, who should carry out a review? Is it by an in-house team or by an independent consultant? Give your suggestions on how to avoid bias in a review. From Jairaj.
See, we are talking of a monthly business review of what we planned for the year as a whole, what have we done this month, and how to overcome the obstacles, how to utilize the resources better. According to me, the CEO is better equipped to review than a consultant. But you require a specific issue in a review, you found out something where you don't have an expertise. That is the time I invite an outside person to add value to our understanding of the performance gap and help us resolve that issue. But not as a everyday basis. If you have a lot of money, employ them, no problem. But I feel CEO's primary responsibility is to invite consultant when needed, not replace his role.
Sure. The next one is on your famous 108. So, whether entire India covered under EMRA 108 or still few states are left to.
When I left in 2011, it was 12 states. Now in the last 15 years, I think many more got, except couple of states, smaller ones. Maybe I don't know whether J&K and that kind of small. It's not significantly important states are definitely in the list. What happened was when I was running the show, it was a nominated. I was nominated to run it for government on actual costs. So they pay me actuals at the beginning of the quarter. They give me money. I give them actuals. But after I left, the private guys, lot of guys came to make money. It could be contractors. It could be some people who have no understanding of a non-profit nor any philanthropic cause. So the tendering came and they quote some money, and that money ke liye naturally they won't go to. If there is a call in Anna Nagar, he will not go. If there is something else, he will not go. But running is there, but there are gaps because of this profit orientation. Couple of states may be there, smaller ones. That's all I say. Yeah, thank you.
The next one is on what role does leadership style play in conducting reviews that are both rigorous and psychologically safe?
Great.
From Vishwa.
See, I talked about the 6 leadership styles: authoritative, coaching, democratic, pace setting, coercive, participative, like that I wrote. By and large, research has shown very clearly, including my own experience of observing the leaders, whether it is Modi or Rajshekar Reddy or Chandrababu Naidu or Akhilesh Yadav, they are all authoritative leaders where they have a phenomenal vision and they mobilize people around that vision. That is authoritative, not the olden word of authoritarian. Authoritarian is equal to coercive. Coercive will not work, pace setting will not work. What works is authoritative, coupled with coaching style and affiliative style. Coaching style, I practice quite a lot of coaching, and affiliative, treating people, respecting their emotions and touching them on top.
Right. Yeah. So normally review process assumes a certain authority or expertise, and it looks like only senior people can do reviews. So Sharmila's question is, how can young professionals and emerging leaders be trained to conduct and participate in meaningful reviews early in their careers?
Fantastic question. This question, what I did was, when I was reviewing as a CEO, my direct reports were there. But I invite people next level to be there in that meeting to learn how I am conducting reviewing. And then I used to go to the state heads when they're reviewing, COOs.
Right.
And COO report is when they were there, I will go.
Okay.
Observer, I won't review. Observer, at the end I tell them how we can improve better.
Okay. So Venkat, this is your third book. So I just want to know, what is it about what that you borrowed from the first 2 books in this book? And what's next on your annual
Great.
of writing?
I think first book I wrote what I wanted to write.
Yeah.
This third book is I wrote what people want to learn. First was selling, this is marketing. I also thought some colors are important, some design is important. I spent money to go to a content writer. I went to a designer. I went to a printer. All this I did in the third book. First book, I thought I know everything, why people will not buy my book. But I learned that no, that is not enough. People will look at the cover of the book and buy. So better make the better cover. That is one learning definitely I made. Second learning is pricing. I thought, let me make it price as 234 instead of 400 and 2000. People still, they don't mind buying a pizza. They don't mind going to a movie theater. But buying a book is expensive. 234 signifies 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 9. 9 is my 108 number. And 2 of my family members, me and my wife, live in Hyderabad. 3 of my second son live in Bangalore. 4 of my first son live in New Jersey. 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 9. Family is happy. I am happy. Customer is happy with the small price. Thank you.